As the blood vessels may be described as the railroad of the MRT, LRT, or even the famous P&R train station, it serves as the rail tracks that blood travels over the different areas of the body. So these railroads are so important that even the slightest obstruction to this would cause immediate effect, just as like how we react every time the MRT or the LRT stops at the middle of its track. Thrombosis, it is the formation of the blood clots within the walls of the blood vessels. The blood clots' capability to obstruct blood flow may range from mild to severe. Now this led the pharmaceutical companies to the discoveries of the thrombolytic drugs that have the ability to dissolve the blood clots. So generally, thrombolytic drugs are expensive. So they are used for the treatment for the complications of thrombosis. Mainly the complications of thrombosis may be hypertension, heart attack, stroke, myocardial infarction, pulmonary embolism, or even death. So earthworms, on the other hand, are famous for their disgusting appearances, though they have the studies pointing out its potential to have thrombolytic properties. So since synthetically made drugs are associated with various side effects, as opposed to the drugs from natural resources, this led the researchers for the study of the determination of the thrombolytic property of the African tricolor earthworms, scientifically named Udrilus eugeniae family Udridae. So as for the objectives of the study, the research aims to determine the thrombolytic property from the extract of the African tricolor earthworms, scientifically named Udrilus eugeniae. Specifically, this study focuses on the procedures and methods to extract and identify its constituents, know the concentrations at which the extract elicits its thrombolytic effect, and compare the extracts to that of the positive control, which is the aspirin. And as for the significance of the study, so the study will be of benefit to a lot of people so that they will have a broader knowledge of the work of the earthworms. Not only that these earthworms are mainly focused for the vermicomposer, but also they may be used as an alternative to the thrombolytic drug. So it will be also a benefit to the Filipino families that aspirin is it's not the only treatment for thrombotic disorders, but also earthworms has the potential to do that. And lastly, it will be of benefit to the pharmaceutical companies that they may use earthworms as an alternative, since synthetically made drugs possess a lot of side effects. So for the paradigm of the study, so the African tricolor earthworms would be taken from the Bureau of Plant Industry, where it will undergo extraction by modification. So the preparation of the sample the extract will be for the physical test, which is the organoleptic and the solubility testing. Then the extract will be further subjected to the chemical test, specifically test for the proteins, namely the Biret test, the Ninhydrin test, the cytoprotein test, the Milans test, Upfield's code, and the test for SHB. And lastly, the extract will be subjected to the biological test, which is the weight monitored ferritin-induced thrombosis as determinants. As for the schematic diagram, the earthworms shall be taken from the Bureau of Plant, where it was cleansed using where its digestive tract was cleansed using 0.65% NaCl, and then was subjected to osterizer or grinding, and then after which the extract was passed on a cheesecloth, where it was added with chloroform, and then the mixture was subjected to cold centrifuge, where the upper layer was pipetted out and used for the further studies. So separate groups were used the group 1 as the negative control, the group 2 as the positive, then groups 3 to 7, namely the concentration group with 150 milligram, 300, 600, 900, and 1200 milligram per kilogram of the body weight of the rat respectively. So the rats were weighed, they were anesthetized with the verbac, and then the ferric chloride was used to induce thrombosis, after which 15 minutes the extract was injected intravenously. Then after an hour of waiting, isolation of the left jugular vein was used, and then the thrombus formed was isolated and weighed. So for the organoleptic, it was achieved that the extract has an appearance of semi-solid color called golden yellow and an odor of a fish like. For the solubility test, the extract yielded that it is soluble in water, very soluble in acetone, and slightly soluble in ethanol, insoluble in ether and chloroform. And for the effects of the extract on the thrombus form, for the chemical test, the extracts yielded positive to all the chemical tests for proteins. For the effects of the extract on the thrombus formation, the aspirin, the dose of 30 milligram per kilogram body weight, then the group 3 to 7 with 150 to 300, 600, and 900 to 1200 milligram per kilogram body weight. It is seen that the group 7, 1200 milligram per kilogram body weight, has that of the closest mean to the positive control of the aspirin, which is 0.0033 grams. So for the evaluation of the bulging, the following legend will be used for the evaluation of the bulges. So figure 2 is a summary of the weight of each thrombus formed upon the different groups. So it is comparable that the aspirate group, which is the positive weight, the thrombus mean weight was 0.033 grams, and the almost similar effect is the group 7 with the 1,200 milligram. 1,200 milligram per kilogram body weight yielded 0.066 grams of the thrombus. So the group used a one-way analysis of variance, where it is found out that there is a significant difference because of the F value computed, and the significant difference is below 0.05. According to the Duncan's test for homogeneous substances, it is seen that the aspirin and the group 7, 1,200 milligram per kilogram value, yielded statistically the same effect for the anti-thrombolytic. Followed that, 900 milligram and 150 elicited the same effect, and then 300 and 600 has the same effect, and thus the control group, which has no similar effect. So in conclusion, after examining the results obtained from the experiment procedures and statistical treatment, the researchers would like to conclude that the crude extract of the African color earthworms, Eugenius engineering, did elicit the thrombolytic properties similar to that of the positive control aspirin. And moreover, among the 5 concentrations, group 7, with the dose of 1,200 milligram per kilogram body weight of the rat, showed the nearest effect in comparison with aspirin. For the recommendations, the group would like to recommend that quantitative analysis of proteins and amino acids and contents from the earthworms, and perform toxicological analysis of the extract, identify other methods of determining the thrombolytic properties of the extract, formulation of a suitable dosage form of the extract, additional number of samples per treatment groups should be tested to increase the consistency of the results, and use of other thrombolytic drugs as positive control. So So on behalf of the Makati, I would like to call on my members, Charles C., Mark Angelo Siguenza, Dina Thomas Berganabe, and I'm David Zedros.
Hirap sa mga Oo nga eh. Diretso lang.
Discuss to us the protocol on anti-thrombolytic activity as slowly, kasi kami bigay lang ng papel, hindi namin masundan yung protocol.
The earthworms were taken from the Bureau of Land Industry.
Okay na yun. Yung mismo.
How did you measure the anti-thrombotic activity?
We used the weight monitor ferrochloride inducible assay for rats. The rats first were fasted for 10 hours, and then after which the negative control group was given 0.9% NSS as an intravenous feed, and then after 1 hour, ferrochloride was used. The veterinarian isolated the left jugular vein, and it was isolated, and then a sheep gauze was dipped on 25% ferrochloride, and then topically applied to the jugular vein. That for 15 minutes, then it induced thrombosis, and then after which the thrombus was taken out and isolated, and the weight of the thrombus was measured. For the groups 3 to 7. All of them were fasted for 10 hours, and then they were anesthetized using the verbac for, after which, again, the isolation of the left jugular vein, and then the application of the ferrochloride 25% topically to the jugular vein. Then after 15 minutes of waiting, a thrombus was formed, and then the intravenously administered the extract. After waiting for an hour after the administration of the IV extract, the thrombus was taken out, and again it was weighed. And then we compared the weights of the thrombus for each group.
Wow.
Therefore, meaning there was no weighing of the thrombus before the administration of your extract.
Yes, because the thrombus has to be induced first, because the rats have to be anesthetized, and then the jugular vein has to be isolated first. After which the ferrochloride was topically applied. Then 15 minutes, the thrombus. The veterinarian conducted a surgery.
I would like to clarify about our procedure. The experiment was conducted in vivo, and we opened the wound near the left jugular vein, but the veterinarian was careful not to cut nearby blood vessels to prevent bleeding, so they can preserve the life of the rats. And after the veterinarian isolated the jugular vein inside the neck of the rats, the cotton gauze was saturated with 25% ferrochloride and applied topically inside the neck, in contact with the jugular vein. So after 15 minutes, the thrombus was formed in the jugular vein. the rat is still alive. And we removed the ferrichloride and then administered the extract via intravenously and waited for 1 hour to isolate completely the jugular vein from the leg.
It is also assumed that during the process, the rats died after the isolation of the thrombus.
Ayun na.
So how do you, what would be your basis of saying that your extract has anti-thrombolytic activity when you did not get the weight of the thrombi before and after?
We cannot get the weight of the thrombi before because it has to be induced first.
That's the flow of the protocol. You cannot take it because once you get the reading before administration, mamamatay na yung particle. So you just compared it with the positive and negative control. So post-test lang tayo. Your research design is post-test. So pre- and pre-test to compare with. Weakness.
Okay, so based on your results, what did you find out?
So it is found out that the extracts from 115 to 1200 elicited thrombolytic effects, but it is the 1200 milligram per kilogram body weight statistically has almost the same weight that the positive control aspirin. Because if you could see the appendix, the weights of the thrombus, the mean weight, the aspirin has 0.033 grams, while the 1200 milligram, it has 0.066 grams. We see that it's also stated in the Duncan's test for homogeneous.
I just want to validate and correct me if I'm wrong. Meaning that you compare now the weights of the thrombi from the different agents that we use. Diba? Let's say you use the aspirin, you use your extract, you use your SS. That was it. Compare nyo na lang yung weights of the thrombus after administration of NSS from one rat, and then after administration of your what's the other one? Your aspirin from another rat, and then from your extract also from a separate rat. Correct?
Each group has 3 rats.
Yeah, different rats, different groups of rats. So, ang ano ko lang yan, my apprehension here is that it may be possible that the rats, you cannot assume that they will be producing the same weight of thrombus in the first place. And then later on, you just compare each of these na wala tayong baseline kung ano yung weight of the thrombus before you administer your agents,
Kaya meron po kami negative control para yun yung basis namin.
Kaya nga, but yung rats yun kasi each different rats may have different
reaction to sa
thrombus formation or forming component.
Kaya rin po sa recommendation namin, dinigay po namin na increase po yung sample ng rats per group para po sa consistency. Kasi po, 3 rats lang po siya per group. Hindi na po yung allow.
Siguro, one protocol that you can use to check really if your plant extra, if your earthworm, first, ang una namin tanong, why of all the sources, you have thought of the earthworm as your source of extract?
Kasi po, yung plant po kasi masyado na siyang sa tingin ko namin, parang you want to divert from the plant to an animal. So,
What about, did you consider the infectious agent that may be carried by this earthworm?
we recommend that the toxicological analysis should be done.
Oo, kasi kung ako'y mamimiliin, I will not use your extra. Why? Because aspirin is very cheap, right? And using that earthworm may bring so many infectious agents to the patient. It may cause a lot of diseases to the patient.
That's why before we perform the extraction, we cleanse the digestive tracts of the earthworms by using 0.65% NaCl. That's why parang pinatayin po namin sila. Pinatayin.
Pinatayin.
Yung papers of 65%.
Kahit pa, what about on the superficial aspect? Baka may naladala mga violation. So wala na sa gut, no? You may have eliminated the gut, the infectious agent in the gut content, but what about on the surface of the worm? There could be viruses, bacteria, attached on the surface, which may induce infection to the patient or to the subject, alright? Another suggestion, why don't you validate, okay, the next group of researchers siguro perhaps can work on this similar topic, but using more valid and more accurate tests like prothrombin time, platelet count, itong mga to, perhaps you can make use of these protocols because these are established protocols for thrombolytic activity. Kasi yan ay hanap in vivo at in vitro Unang-unang hindi mo pwedeng gawin ang pre-testing dyan. Mamamatay na kasi kaagad yung rat mo, di ba? So, yung siguro, using the prothrombin time, platelet count, somehow you can have the pre-test, post-test, tawag ito, design, research design, which is more valid, okay?
I would like to add something. Our research is about thrombolytic and it's about dissolving the clot, not preventing a clot. So,
Preventing the clot. Okay, sumagot na. We are very good in answering questions. Siguro, yun nga, we will recommend that other tests may be used. Huwag itong method na to kasi nga wala kayong pre-testing. Again, you will have the question on the validity of the test result if your research design is post-test. You cannot compare your data with the positive and negative control. Iba pa rin ang biological activity ng rats na nasa test at nasa mga negative positive control. But anyway, for the basis of your ability to answer questions, you are very good.